Here. Let's go over all the games happened on Sunday, and then this is the last day of the fantasy season. Let's jump into it. The first game is, and all the seeding have been determined. Um, so let's take a look and just to see what team's gonna be in the playoff, in the playings, what the matchup gonna be like. The first game is the Knicks did it again. For the Celtics, this game didn't really mean too much. Also, everybody is out, but for the Knicks, it matters. They ended up getting the fourth seed. So they'll be playing the Atlanta Hawks in the first round instead of some like Milwaukee Bucks if they do lose the game and the other two teams win. So it's to them, the game still matter a lot. I was saying Luke Cornett could be a stream if you want some big men, if you want some blocks, because after all he's pretty tall. In 26 minutes he gave us 3 blocks and nothing else. You take it. Everybody's out. Sorry, Jason Tatum, the entire roster, Celtic roster is out. Grant Williams came in. Doesn't look like he's a good fantasy guy. Sammy Ojale, same thing. Romeo again, Lanford also played huge minutes, the most on the team as a matter of fact. Didn't really do anything. On the Celtics guys, Peyton Pritchard thought he could be a good assist and steals guy. He was a minus 24, played pretty horrible, 2 for 10 as well. And just like I said, I thought maybe Evan Fournier could be a stream, and turns out he missed. That's why it's important to just don't blindly pick up a guy. Just make sure he could, before the game starts, make sure he's active. I mean, they're playing the first game of the day, so no excuse. You just gotta check. The news should come out before 1 p.m. Eastern yesterday. If whether Evan Fournier is in or out. Jabari Parker, actually, he's on the Celtics. The best high schooler since LeBron James, played 27 minutes, 18 points, and 7 rebounds, and nothing else. Pretty disappointing across the board for the Celtics. Nobody really played. For the Knicks, this is why we love the Knicks guys. Julius Randle, bad efficient night, but 20 points, 7 rebounds, 7 assists, 2 threes, okay from the free throw line, a steal and a block. Julius Randle did it again. So just for the season overview, I don't think he missed a game. Maybe he missed one game, maybe. And for the Knicks, they're in a situation 41st ranked player in the last month, averaged 26 points, 8.6 rebounds, 6.1 assists. The efficiency was a little bit off in the last month, but still averaged 26 points and almost 3 threes a game. 41st ranked player, really really good. The guy's been good all season. Nerlens Noel did it again. Last game he had 2 steals, 5 blocks, something like that. This game 3 steals and 3 blocks and 6 rebounds. If you need those categories, can't say enough about Nerlens Noel. Last month, 33rd ranked player, averaging 1.3 steals and 2.4 blocks. Those are just monster numbers. But the expectation is next season he's not gonna be starting. He could be a stream a lot of the time, could come in playing 15 to 20 minutes, give you a block or 2, but won't be, he won't be getting 32 minutes. But like we see here, even if the guy gets 32 minutes, other than steals and blocks, a little bit of rebound, everything else is still just absolute zero across the board. RJ Barrett played okay, 22 points. If you want points, like I said, if you want points and rebound, and lately he's been hitting a lot of threes as well. Hit only 2 threes here for rebound, 22 points. Okay game for RJ Barrett to close out the season. Do you want to take him like last round in the draft next year? I think I would. If I think he's gonna break out. Although this season he's already playing the highest minutes. Same thing with last year. He definitely got better over the years. Well, he's fairly young. He's only a sophomore, I think. But he pretty much improved even fantasy wise. So next season, maybe if you take him last round, he could surprise you. Derrick Rose played 22 minutes. Obviously, this is not the guy we want to draft next year. Doesn't really matter which team he goes. He played like 20 to 25 minutes in a row. No, absolutely no upset. We could stream this guy. But usually in the last round of the drafts, you want to take someone with some upside, some younger guys, instead of taking some older guys. That's how I would approach it. For example, I took Darius Bazley. Darius Bazley is a young guy. He ended up playing horribly. Sometimes you just cut your losses quick. Gotta drop this guy. Don't draft Darius Bazley next year, guys. He's not good. Given the opportunity, even Alec Burks continued to play well, hit 5 threes, and got 25 minutes. If you stream him in the last 3 games, you're happy with the production, especially from the points and threes and free throw perspective. He also contributed 6 rebounds and a steal, so pretty good across the board. Let's go to the next game, the Indiana Pacers beating the Toronto Raptors. The Sabonis ended up playing, so that's a surprise. So it turned out that the Wizards, they do have the tiebreaker over the Pacers, and Hornets dropped the game. So Wizards, after the horrible start, they somehow made it to the 8 seeds. So that's great. They just need to win one game, and consider Celtics. They might just win the first game and be the 7th seed. I don't know. Play the Nets. That will be a really good series. I think the Wizards and the Nets. Russell Westbrook just played super well when playing against his former teammates Kevin Durant. Now Harden obviously is also on the Nets, and both teams don't play much defense. So I think that would be fun to watch. I would tune in for that game, for that series. O'Shea Brissett went off. He could be a good stream. I thought with Sabonis playing, maybe he's not gonna get the huge minutes, but he did. He played 36 minutes, just completely went off. No defensive stats, but 5 threes, 31 points, and 10 rebounds. But I don't think this guy next season. Change the camera real quick. Don't think this guy next season is gonna be contributing anything to fantasy. It's disappointing. Malcolm Brogdon just completely disappeared for the Pacers in the last month or so. We expect to fall off, but not like this. He just basically didn't play. Meanwhile, a couple of real players like TJ McConnell. Man, if you want assists and steals, look at that. I'm pretty sure he helped a lot of guys win assists if the matchup was tight. 17 assists, he played 40 minutes. Was this overtime? No, this is not overtime. Consider this is not overtime, and the guy came off the bench, he played 40 minutes. 17 assists, 2 steals in a block. Next season, you don't want to draft this guy, obviously, if Brogdon and Caris LeVert are both healthy. But if he can play 20 to 25 minutes a night, even coming off the bench, the guy does a lot of stuff in fantasy, especially the assist and steal categories. And he's good at stripping the basketball when you go up. So he gets some blocks as well, some rebounding. Very, very efficient from the field as a point guard. So if you in the points and 3 build, he's basically a god. I would roster him full time if you're pounding those. Caris LeVert only played 21 minutes. I guess this game wasn't close, so he only played 20 minutes. 6 assists and 2 steals. So this guy we can definitely draft next season in the top 100 player. I think the efficiency is going to be rough, and with Malcolm Brogdon back, don't expect him to put up the level of counting stat he was putting up in the last few weeks, especially the assists. I think Brogdon should be a guy that should average 6 assists. Justin Holiday had hit 1 3, 7 points, didn't really do anything. So if you stream him, it'll be somewhat disappointing. And Gogo Badaze, with Sabonis playing, he only got his 11 minutes. That's it for the Pacers. Let's look at the Raptors. This is their last game of the year. Wow, I gotta go through all 15 games, so let's speed up a little bit. I think I'm gonna do a video on, outlook on the players next season, maybe just a review on all the fantasy guys. I think I'm gonna try. I'm gonna look at what Josh Lloyd does, maybe just try to do the same thing he's doing. For the Raptors, across the board, everybody played over 40 minutes, so a good stream for pretty much everybody. Stanley Johnson put up an okay line, 24.7 assists and 2 steals. But next season, hey, the guy's not going to get any playing time. This guy, Freddie, also got 41 minutes. Didn't really do much. Had a block and 10 rebounds. Cam Birch is the guy. Next season, we're going to have Chris Boucher and Cam Birch. Chris Boucher could be a power forward. So I don't know what the minutes going to be like. Maybe they traded for Birch. So maybe if they give Birch huge minutes, or maybe it's going to be a minute split moving forward. We want to take Chris Boucher in the earlier round, obviously, if the Raptors lineup stay untouched. If they don't get any big man. The guy has top 30 upside, give it 30 minutes. Same thing with Birch. We want to take Birch a bit way lower because not lower, but way higher. Like later in the draft, he had 14 rebounds this game. Also went off. DeAndre Bambry went off as well. 23 points, 3 steals, 4 assists. If you assume these guys, they are contributing in your last day, right? They played a 6-man rotation. Chris Boucher just didn't play. Aaron Baines played 26 minutes, grabbed 10 rebounds, but all the starters played over 40 minutes. Malachi Flynn, I like him the most. He took 22 shots. The efficiency is still rough, but hit 5 threes, 6 for 6 from the free throw line, 4 rebounds, 5 assists, 2 steals in the block. But with all these guys around, like with Kyle Lowry, with Fred VanVleet, Malachi Flynn could be coming off the bench, play 20 to 25 minutes. But I think if the guy gets 30 plus minutes, if Kyle Lowry gets injured, I think he could be immediately scooped up. I think the guards on the Raptors, given the system, they just put up big stats. Could be a system thing, I think. Let's look at the next game. This is a must-win for both teams because whoever wins, for the Hornets, they could be the lockdown for the 8th seed. Depend on the tiebreaker, but this game means a lot to both teams, so that they only need to win one game to make the playoffs. Miles Bridges, a good stream, had 4 blocks, 17 points, 2 threes, nothing else. Bad efficiency from the field. Just a bad game from Miles Bridges. We could consider take this guy next season in the very late rounds. As we can see, given the opportunity, given 35 plus minutes, he could be a really good guy. But what's going to happen next season is, beginning of the season, he may not get 30 plus minutes. If we can take him, sure. Like if he plays well, maybe try to trade him because the minutes, I don't know. Across the board, like Jalen McDaniels, maybe next season gonna get some minutes. Probably not the guy we want to draft. PJ Washington, we could definitely draft. He's gonna get some consistent 30 minutes on this roster. 9 rebounds, 2 steals in the block, 3 threes. A guy that contributes across the board. Ignore the efficiency because he has some efficiency issues. But 9 rebounds, look at this. 9 rebounds, 4 assists, 3 threes, 2 steals in the block, 11 points. Terry Rozier continued to struggle from the field. This is more of the Terry Rozier that I expect. 42%. But he's doing the other stuff this season. He had 9 assists, 9 rebounds, 3 steals, 3 threes, 22 points. If he can average 5.5 assists and 1.2, 1.3 steals, then all of a sudden he's a top 50 guy. I don't know if he will do that next season, so I wouldn't draft him in the top 50, to be honest. And there's so many young guys coming up. LaMelo Ball took 21 shots, okay game, 7 rebounds, 2 threes, 5 assists, and 2 steals. LaMelo Ball is a guy that I want to take early next season. He has very good upside. Rookie campaign was good. He's only going to be better next year. And he's a guy in fantasy contributes across the board. Only problem is his efficiency. He does everything. So I would like to take him, 3rd, 4th round, not in the 2nd round, 3rd round, maybe late 3rd round. I'll start. If he's not taken late 3rd round, I don't think I would hesitate much. He has top 20 upside. So if you take him around 40, he's very comfortably a top 50 guy. And I think he's young. He won't be in that many games, right? Compared to take Chris Paul there. Chris Paul also have top 20 upside, but he might get, he's a year older. Who knows? Devontae Gray have hit 3 threes, 15 points. Good, even only 2 assists, but hit 3 threes. And Cody Zeller lately has been playing huge minutes. But those 2 guys, we don't want to draft them next year. For the Wizards, Bradley Beal came back and took 27 shots. He's not 100% healthy, so that wouldn't really help the Wizards. Had 25 points and 3 threes. He's really fallen off toward the second half of the season. I mean, injuries did play a role, I think. But, yeah, nowhere near the production he was giving us. I think next season for the expectation is you still, on this Wizards team, if he stay, I think you should still take him top 15. Compared to many other top guys, he's fairly healthy. I would say from the evidence we've seen so far. And the Wizards, they don't have the tradition of resting guys. The Clipper guys, I don't think I want to avoid them, right? Based on what we've seen this season, things could change for sure. Next season, Clippers, they are struggling to make the playoffs. Then guys have to play. For Russell Westbrook, really, really good. Next season, he's a guy that if you draft him, I would draft him in the end of 2nd round or early 3rd for sure. But if I'm going to draft him, I think I want to pump certain categories, the free throws, right, the turnovers. I would definitely think about that. Build a team around Russell Westbrook. Depending on who you take, like if first round, if you have a harder in the first round, right, you might as well pump turnovers. Pair him up with Russell Westbrook, right? Lock down those counting stats, the assists. You're probably gonna win assists every single night. Your rebound also very, very strong. 2 guards that can grab a lot of rebound. So, also look good steals, that kind of stuff. This game, another triple double. This is getting old. 15 rebounds. Just as a point guard, he's doing this. If you just get another big man that average over 10, 11 rebound, like hey, your rebound, unless you're playing some big man team. But if you're playing big man team, you're gonna win all the guard stats to begin with, right? So you can then compete for the rebound. Drop some guys in the playoffs. If you play me, drop some guys that don't give you rebound, and then you have a point guard averaging 12 rebound. Then you just win in rebound. Daniel Gafford is a guy we're thinking about streaming. He had 1 block, 5 rebound. Another okay game. Definitely didn't really contribute much this week, I think, for Daniel Gafford. If you stream him, somewhat disappointing, even those big man stats. David Bertans hit 3 threes, that's it. But if you had him on your roster, you only want 3, so 3 threes is okay. Ish Smith somehow played 32 minutes, had 8 rebounds and 7 assists. Old veteran guy still playing in the NBA. The next game, the Phoenix Suns beating the San Antonio Spurs. Mikal Bridges, why did he only play 5 minutes? Oh, you know what it is? I saw it the other day. Because he's healthy. They just want him to start him, play him, and then rest him. This is purely for record reasons. They want to give him a few minutes, then hey, you don't need to play anymore. But you have I don't think he missed an NBA game so far. That's another reason we would love him next season, right? He's very efficient, don't turn the ball over, and he doesn't miss games from what we see. Obviously, this could change, but we can only look at what's happened this season to see like how many games. Like he's gonna play 82 games, 80 games, right? Unless he had some bad luck, and across the board, just a bunch of guys like Cameron Payne. Before this game, he could be a good stream. Like he's a guy that I want to stream for assists and steals. He had only 6 assists and 1 steal. Only played 27 minutes. Javon Carter played huge minutes. He turned out to be really, really good this game. But probably not the guy we want to stream. Didn't expect him to play 42 minutes. Not gonna go into too much detail. Like Etwan Moore coming off the bench, played huge, 9 for 10. But this game didn't really matter. Everybody rested. For the San Antonio Spurs, they played DeRozan, interestingly. I guess get ready for the play-ins. They are the 10th seed. This game meant nothing to them. Pirtle played well, 10 rebounds, 3 blocks, and took 14 shots. Good efficiency from the field. Good efficiency from the field. Devontae Murray, bad efficiency again. He's a guy that we could take him in the top 50, but we can see here, guys were in and out of the lineup. He has all the opportunity, and this season might be his ceiling. So do we want to take him in the top 50, or in the top 50 we want to take a guy that might have top 30 upside, but could end up being not top 50, right? Because fantasy-wise, we know he's 100. With everybody out, he's 101st ranked player in the last month. So last month not so good, mainly because the assist the steal numbers is low. I think for the season his steal numbers is somewhat disappointing. Consider that he plays more minutes now, and just didn't really take a step forward. He just scores about 15 points, grab good rebound, but the assist numbers next season, the Spurs is not a team that the point guard is gonna get 8-9 assists. It's more like 5. Everybody gets a little bit. Derrick Rose is going to come and get 4.5 assists. Devontae Murray maybe get 5.5 assists. So his assist number is not huge. So majority of his value coming from the steals. And he doesn't block shots. He's not efficient. He doesn't hit threes. So he does have issues with his fantasy. I think if you're punting threes, he could be a good point guard on your team if you're punting threes. Because he doesn't, as a guard, he doesn't hit any threes. Then his value goes up. Lonnie Walker, the 4th. Didn't do anything. Keldon Johnson, somewhat disappointing. Do we want to draft this guy next season? Probably not. He played really well beginning of the season, but that just fall off. That disappeared. DeRozan next season, we could look at him to take him, in the fifth round, maybe end of fifth round. He played really well, but I don't know how much upside does he have, and he's just an older guy, right? But if you want some guy with consistent scoring and assist in that area in category leagues, you could look for him. The next team, the Grizzlies, losing to the Golden State Warriors. Okay, JJJ, this is why we love JJJ. Hit 2 threes, 3 steals. This is the guy we want to take in the fourth round, maybe late third. Next season, fairly healthy. He could break out, next season. Give you a lot of threes. I mean, just love this stat line, right? Maybe you could pound assists with him, pair him up with Michael Porter Jr. Both guys are monsters, fantasy-wise. And he had 5 personal fouls. He could be really, really good. He could block 2 shots and make 3 threes a game, and then give you 18. Who knows? Maybe 20 points score next season. But going from 18 points to 20 points doesn't really help you that much. In fantasy, realistically, it's the blocks, and he could be a good steals guy. Like he could average around 0.91 steal as a power forward. Love it, really. You could pound assists with him. Kyle Anderson, great. He played 29 minutes alongside JJJ. He's a guy we could take last round next year. I would draft Kyle Anderson if I want some peripheral stats. So far, what we've seen, 30 minutes, 4 steal. But obviously the roster is not confirmed. In the offseason, a lot could change. He's a good fantasy guy. And 2 steals and block, 4 assists, 5 rebounds, like just good stuff across the board. Valanciunas, same thing. Next season, want to take him in the top 50 or 60. 80% from the field, especially if I want some efficiency and rebound. Man, this guy's a beast. 16 rebound, 29 points. Just for efficient from the field, but the blocks is really, really underwhelming. Like, hey, maybe like if you got Russell Westbrook and be like, hey, I want to be really good at rebound, but I'm probably gonna pump blocks. You could get Valanciunas, right? He doesn't give you a lot of blocks. Dylan Brooks, 18 points, 1 3. 6 assists. Derrick Rose is another guy, and he fouled out. He definitely improved this season, fantasy wise. Next year, if he pounding field goal, you could take him later in the round. Then John Moran don't draft this guy early, guys. 16 points and 9 assists and nothing else. 1 steal, 1 3. DeAnthony Melton will never be freed if you're on the Grizzlies team. If you get traded to any other team, I would take a late round flyer. If it doesn't work out, I'll just drop it. For the Warriors, Curry went crazy again, 46 points. Next season, I think, hey, they really needed him this season. And he was going for the scoring title. Next season, I think realistically, Curry's going to be top 5, but I wouldn't take him top 2. With all the risks, I think injury risks. And if the Warriors end up, coming back and they're playing really well, first, second seed, they're going to start resting guys for sure. But now this is it's a must win for them every single game, right? Because they're in the playing tournament. 46 points, really good for Curry. He took 22 threes, 9 threes. Man, if I were with the Lakers, man, if Curry had another one of these games, it's hard to beat the Warriors, right? If Curry goes out for 50 points, 9 is a steal and a block, 7 points. Yeah, just so good. And he didn't miss that many games, to be honest. Curry has been fairly healthy all season as well, right? Ken Bazemore, if you want defensive stats, he give you 2 and nothing else. Kevon Looney, not interested. Although he grabbed 11 rebounds, that's pretty good. Draymond Green playing really, really well. 9 rebounds, 9 assists. This is the guy that I want to take in the top 50, like 4th round. Like maybe even end of 3rd round if I'm punting points. Really good. 9 rebounds, 9 assists, 1 steal, 2 blocks, and even had 14 points. So that's a surprise. Andrew Wiggins, good game. 10 rebound and steal in the block. Later in the rounds, maybe around 10th round in 12 teams, 9th round, we could maybe think about getting Wiggins. But next season, Clay's going to be back. But Wiggins should still have a role on this team, playing 30 minutes a night, giving us 17, 18 points, and some threes and some defensive stats. Maybe punting free throw with him. It's just annoying, right? You can constantly miss free throws. 1 for 2 from the line again. Let's go to the next game. Only 1/3 way through. The Houston Rockets losing. Yeah, this game wasn't really close, but we want to see how Kelly Olynyk did. Only 24 minutes because the game didn't really matter. Just want to rest him. This guy is a beast, man. Next season, I want to take this guy. If he's on the Rockets, maybe 6th, 7th round, I think probably is what I'm looking at. This is what I'm thinking. 6th round, 7th round, maybe. Take Kelly Olynyk because he could be a top 30 guy given 50 minutes. Not 50, give me 30 minutes a night playing alongside Christian Wood. But a lot could change. I don't know what the contract is, what the contract looks like, all of that kind of stuff. But if he's on the Rockets and they don't get any other big man, like, hey, I would love him. Kenyon Martin Jr. maybe, if he's on the Rockets, with everybody healthy, I don't think he'll get 30 minutes a night. So I would keep my eye on this Kenyon Martin Jr. because he's a good fantasy guy. 2 steals. He racks up plenty of defensive stats and good rebound and hit threes. And do a bit of everything. I love him. Jason Tate, not only also played pretty few minutes. I could also take a late round flyer on him because I think he's a guy that's gonna get 30+ minutes. And if he improves out in the offseason, he's gonna be great. Anthony Lamb played huge minutes, didn't really do much. And Armoni Brooks hit 6 threes. He took 18 3-point shots. So if you stream him for points and threes, you're really happy because he hit 6 threes, 2 steals, 18 points. That's pretty good. For the Atlanta Hawks, DeAndre Hunter came back. It sucks. Bogdanovic did not play a top 15, 7th ranked player in the last month. Scary stuff, Bogdanovic. But I think we have to be realistic for next season. I wouldn't draft this guy seriously. Like maybe in the top 100, around top 100. I'll probably take him. Top 90, maybe 90th pick. Although we see this guy have top 10 upside. But I just don't think it's gonna happen. With everybody coming back next season, maybe he will. Maybe 90 is a bit too late. But I just what he's been doing, hitting 4.6 threes. Not only he has the opportunity to play huge minutes, he's also shooting the ball really well. I think both those things go away, like he's just gonna be a droppable guy real soon. Right? Trey Young played 60 minutes. The game got out of hand real quick. When we know Trey Young, don't draft this guy early. DeAndre Hunter, maybe look if you want some efficiency. From what we've seen so far with Hunter this season, it's very efficient. But I wouldn't spend an expensive draft pick on him. Right, that's it for the Atlanta Hawks. Let's go to next game. Not much news going on, even across the board. This game, the Brooklyn Nets, they were trying to get the first seed. I think that's why KD played. I don't know if they had the tiebreaker over the Sixers, but only one game behind the Sixers. So really, those 2 games losing to the Bucks really, really sucked. They could have been the number 1 seed. Jared Allen next season, I would take 5th round, 6th round. I'll take him. If I want some big man, 11 rebound, he's gonna have a good season next year. It's just lately no blocks really. Everything else looks alright. Isaac Okoro, maybe look at him to take him late line last round flyer, that type of stuff. He took 16 shots, 18 points. Offensively, he's still not very good, but he should be getting plenty of minutes and getting plenty of defensive stats. That's my expectation. Colin Sexton got ejected, pushing KD. 16 points and 1 3. Colin Sexton, 5 assists and still is okay, but we could take him, Colin Sexton. I think good from value wise. Maybe if he falls to you 7th round, 8th round, we could take him there. I wouldn't take him 4th or 5th because Conley side look good, but the peripheral is lacking most of the time. Although he definitely improved from last year's. And Darius Garland, the same thing. I would take him maybe even later, around 100 to be honest. The Conley said the guard stat look good. If you have a guard team, you could maybe take him early, right? Good upside. For the Nets, KD is healthy and playing had 13 assists. That's really good. Efficient everywhere. This is what just Kevin Durant next season. Kevin Durant and Kyrie Irving, we know perking wise they're gonna be monsters, and I think Nets like the Clippers, they're gonna be the team that's gonna rest a lot. I don't know how much they're gonna rest Harden. But from what we're seeing, Harden hasn't been healthy exactly all this year. So, do we want to take him top 5? Obviously, he has to play with like per game basis wise. These three guys are really really good, but just feel like they're gonna miss some games next season. And again, they're gonna be good, and toward the end of the season, they're gonna get some rest, right? And if they do get injured, they have the big three. They have the two other guys. You don't need to come back. Harden alone can win games for you, so there's no need to rush back. That's another thing. But Bruce Brown played well again. 25 minutes. This is not the guy we want to draft, but on the Nets, like, hey, maybe he gets plenty of. Joe Harris has been out, but he's a good fantasy guy, Bruce Brown. Like, even when he was on Detroit Pistons, he put up big lines, 2 steals and 2 blocks. That's really good. 12 points. And Mike James, the legend, had 28 points. Inefficient, we know that, but 8 assists and 2 steals. Let's go to the next game. Did Joel Embiid play this game? Magic lost to the Sixers. No surprise there. Dwayne Bacon, just want to puke. The guy just, fantasy-wise, in real life, I don't know, but fantasy-wise, just not so good. And he's getting huge minutes, not doing anything. Wagner, 35 minutes, a steal and a block, and 1 3, also not interested. Mo Bamba could be a good stream if we knew, Wendell Carter Jr. is going to be out. He ended up not blocking shots, so that's disappointing. And as a big man, he's, as we've seen many, many times, he's not efficient from the field. 3 for 10 again, 6 rebounds and 4 assists. Garrett Harris played 14 minutes and then boom. And Cole Anthony went off. 37 points, 14 for 14 from the free throw line. If you're streaming for this guy for assists, he didn't give you that, but he gave you points and free throws, huge free throws, and rebound. This guy probably not. I don't want to draft him, even though he's a young guy, could have good upside, playing 30 plus minutes. But beginning of the season, who knows? A lot of the time, the problem is when you draft young guys is beginning of the season, the coach is gonna play some veteran, all that type of stuff. So you gotta wait half of the season, and then one injury, boom, young guy gets an opportunity to start going off. And that's another issue. Like, how long can you hold a guy if he's not giving you production? Probably like just drop him, right? Because you don't know when he's gonna start getting minutes and going off. So sometimes that's the issue. But then there are times that the young guy immediately starts and plays 30 minutes and plays really well for the whole season. That could also be possible. That's why you want to take late round flyers on guys. If they suck, just drop them. For the Sixers, everybody's out, so Dwight Howard could be a good stream for rebound. He had 7 rebounds and no blocks. Tyrese Maxey is the story. This is the guy, Tyrese Maxey, maybe keep an eye on him next year. Depending on who, like George Hill got onto the team. But again, playing alongside Joel Embiid, guards don't think they're going to go off every single night because Joel Embiid is there. Shake Milton is also another guy. Like, if they go on another team, if they go to the Rockets, right, maybe, and we know they're going to get 30 minutes a night, like, those guys are must roster guys, both of them. But on the Sixers team, just, Isaiah Joe played 33 minutes, Paul Reed, basically Matisse Thybulle didn't even play. But just across the board, everybody is resting. For the Miami Heat, the next game, the Miami Heat beat the Detroit Pistons. This is a must-win game for Miami Heat. They did win, but unfortunately, the other two teams both won, and they're the 6th seed. They have to play Milwaukee Bucks. Very tough matchup. Very tough matchup for them, I think. They beat them last year. But I think this year they got Jrue Holiday, Giannis. Revenge. He wanted revenge. Duncan Robinson hit 3 threes, nothing else. Jimmy Butler was out of this game. So, Precious Achiuwa, the guy is getting a lot of hype in 2K. Next season, maybe, see what the minutes looks like. He's a good fantasy guy. 10 rebound as well. 10 rebound, 2 steals and a block, 23 points. Tyler Hero had 11 assists. That's a career high. Hit 1 3, 16 points. But Tyler Hero, I honestly don't want to draft this guy next season because we've seen what he can do. Even in 30-35 minutes, I think he could only be a streamer because he just gives us the points. He doesn't hit that many threes. He grabs some rebound. That's it. Really, I just don't think he doesn't get defensive stats, inefficient, all that kind of stuff. So I don't really want to have this guy. Draft this guy. For the Detroit Pistons, in category leagues, of course. For Detroit Pistons, Sadiq Bey next year is gonna be good. He had 4 threes, took 15 threes. He's gonna make many threes next season. 5 rebound, 4 assists, and a steal and a block. I think Isaiah Stewart next season, we could look into draft him. Killian Hayes as well, if you want assists and steals. And the other guys, Diallo, Josh Jackson, we don't know what the minutes going to be like. But the other guys, I know they're going to get 30-plus minutes and they're going to start. Diallo could be a good fantasy guy, but the minutes is up and down. Josh Jackson, we know what this guy does. This season, he's played pretty well in fantasy. But a lot of the times, if everybody healthy, he's just not getting the minutes, 24 minutes. On the packing order, he's pretty low, right? The next game, the Milwaukee Bucks losing to the Bulls. This game doesn't matter. So they finally rested everybody. I thought, hey, like they're gonna play their guys 5 games this week, but everybody got the night off. So in fantasy, that's obviously not good. Not much to talk about. Jeff Teague, I forgot he's on this team. 23 points, 7 assists, and 3 steals and a block. I mean, of course, nobody's streaming, right? The news came out pretty late, I think. For the Bulls, Kobe White, another guy I want to talk about. What are we gonna do with him next season? I would draft him maybe if I have a guard team, maybe around 190th pick, 95th pick. In that area, I think. I still think if he plays 35 plus minutes, obviously there are a lot of risks. He had, in the last couple of weeks, he's played pretty well. 109th ranked player in the last month, while averaging only 0.6 steals. This is one big issue with Kobe White is he is a guard. He grabs okay rebound, 4-5 rebound, and I could expect him to average 17, 18 points next season if he plays 30 minutes. But it's just the steals, man. Just no steals. But we know he's not gonna miss many games. He can give us consistent production. It's just the threes that the steals that I'm worried about. Because if he's gonna average 0.5, 0.6 steals, do I want to take him there? Because such a negative, and as a guard, he doesn't get steals. So something to think about. Like for example, Darius Garland. I'm much happier to take Darius Garland over Kobe White. Those two guys put very similar stats, except Darius Garland get way more steals. Thaddeus Young continues to contribute. What a beast. 3 blocks, 20 points, 7 rebounds, and efficient everywhere. What are you going to do with this guy? It's just so good. Let's go to the next game. Okay, we got 5 games. Just going to quickly go over. Dallas Mavericks. I think I want to talk about Porzingis and Luka, where we want to draft them next year. Don't draft them high. I think that's what I want. So say Porzingis, per game basis wise, very good every year, but missed so many games. I think it's gonna be the same thing for the rest of his career. 7'4", guy's too tall, gets injured way too much. Luka, we know what he. Conley said why, no problem, but a lot of turnovers, no defensive stats, and bad free throws. Realistically, I'll probably take him early second round, and then I just go for Russell Westbrook, right? I think if you pair him up with Russell Westbrook, it'll be really good, really really good. Josh Richardson and Jalen Brunson, I mean, all these guys played okay. For the Timberwolves, interesting next season. I think Anthony Edwards is going to be, the trail. Karl Anthony Towns, Anthony Edwards, D'Angelo Russell. These 3 guys are going to be powerful next season. I'm pretty high on Anthony Edwards, honestly. He's a guy that it's going to average. We know he's going to average 20 plus points. Who knows? Might score 25 points. And he's young. I'm going to assume he's going to be healthy and get plenty of defensive stats and hit those threes. Right? The problem is his efficiency. D'Lo. So I think Edwards, realistically, I'll be okay taking 5th round. 5th or 6th, I'll be very comfortable taking him there. Who knows? Some guys might go there to take him in the 4th round. I wouldn't do that, but like top 55 to 65 range, I would take him there. He's a guy that it's hard to get points. We know he's going to give us 23 points, right? Now that D'Lo is back, and obviously they have to integrate, what's his name? He's also out. Malik Beasley, but I don't think Malik Beasley is going to impact him that much. And plus, he gets plenty of defensive stat, right? I like Anthony Edwards more than D'Lo, to be honest. D'Lo, obviously, this game really good. 10 assists, 3 steals, 23 points. But Anthony Edwards is probably gonna score more points than D'Lo. Gonna hit more threes, get more defensive stats, right? More peripheral stats. Although D'Lo probably get more assists, but that's about it. Ricky Rubio coming off the bench, yeah, we can't forget about him. For the Timberwolves, it's about the big three next season. Let's go to the next game. Oh yeah, this game, Lakers. They beat the Pelicans, but too bad it's too late because Denver wasn't really trying. They tanked, right? They tanked against the Blazers, and Lakers have to play in the play, which is okay. I mean, they play the Warriors first. I think they should win one game. They get two opportunities. LeBron played well, 25 points, but I worry about the Lakers, just the health. You know, you can't just turn around the playoffs like, hey, we're gonna turn it on. All of a sudden, everybody's healthy, and Anthony Davis has been underwhelming all season as well. Again, bad from the free throw line. He just gave me confidence the other night going 15 for 15. Now that I'm worried again, is he gonna be an 85 plus free throw guy? If he's gonna be 72-73% free throw guy on high volume, I'm not taking AD in top 5. I would take Giannis over AD for sure, right? Andre Drummond 13. I might as well just pound free throws, and I'll grab Giannis top 5, no worries. 13 points, 13 rebounds for Andre, 2 steals and 2 blocks. Okay game for Andre Drummond. He's the guy. He's not gonna be on the Lakers. I think his contract ends. For New Orleans Pelicans, Nicole Alexander-Walker is the guy we want to stream. He went off the night before. This game not so much. 2 threes, 14 points, a steal, 5 assists, and 4 rebounds. Eric Bledsoe, this guy was getting drafted. I think ESPN really got us on this one. He was getting drafted like in the 7th or 8th round. Yeah, don't draft this guy. Just don't draft this guy next year. He's washed. I mean, even the year before on the Milwaukee Bucks, he was really underwhelming a lot of the time. Hernan Gomez grabbed us 13 rebounds. That's what we want. And R.J. Marshall could be interesting. I don't hate the idea to take a fly on him next year, last round. If it doesn't work out, drop him, right? Maybe Nickeil Alexander-Walker. I think Eric Bledsoe next year. Maybe Josh Hart is a guy maybe I want to draft. Because Eric Bledsoe, I feel like he's just not going to get the minutes next year. Maybe he will still. I don't know. Let's talk about the Clippers also. They don't really care about the game. They lost. Zubac. What the hell, man? This is just, why even play him? Just to keep the the consecutive start going? That's the only reason. Mikal Bridges played 5 minutes. Zubac played 6 minutes, committed a foul, and then just went to the bench. Yeah, that's why the NBA they introduced the idea of playing. So games like this wouldn't happen all that often, right? Luke Kennard, okay. I mean, Patrick Patterson came in and played 42 minutes, and it sucks if you got. And again, I want to say this again. I don't want to get Kawhi Leonard per game basis. Maybe he's still a top 5, top 6 guy on the per game basis, and efficient doesn't hurt you anywhere. So I want to take Kawhi Leonard maybe end of first or early second, maybe not end of first, maybe early second. But if he falls to me 12, 13th pick, I would definitely pick him, right? But Paul George, per game basis wise, let's see. Let's take a look for the all season, right? Per game basis wise, this season, let's just look at a larger sample size. He's 24th ranked player. I know Josh Lloyd was like, hey, take this guy end of first, early second. What ended up happening on the per game basis, he's 24th ranked player, and he played 54 games. So he missed about 20 games. So I wouldn't take him in the early second. I would still take him late second, sure. Another big problem with him is he doesn't get this. For the season, he averaged 1.1 steals. Everything else is fine, but only 23 points. He's not going to average 25 points again. But that's not a big deal. 23 to 25. And the rebound, the assist is good, and the threes is good. Efficiency from the free throw line is good. But just no steals, and he's going to miss a bunch of games. Clippers are annoying, right? So, yeah. Just don't draft Paul George that early in category leagues. He's not that good anymore. For Oklahoma City, a lot of young guys. Pokusevski, play 40 minutes. I like Pokusevski. Like I want to take if he gets 30 plus minutes a night, next season he might be good. Like last round in the draft, I will for sure take him over Darius Bazley, right? Isaiah Roby maybe he won't get the minutes. I like Pokusevski because he's so versatile. A big man can handle the ball, can do a bit of everything. And in fantasy, same thing. Assist, steal, blocks, everything. Just inefficient for the most part. Moses Brown went off, but Al Horford is still on this team. What's gonna happen next year? He had, if you stream this guy, man, 18 rebounds and 7 blocks. But he hasn't done anything all season. I mean, not all season, in the past month or so. But this game, wow, maybe somehow you stream this guy and won the league. But yeah, Al Horford is still there. Like if Al Horford is we don't know. Like he's probably gonna play next season, and Moses Brown not gonna get the minutes. But Pokusevski is the guy that I want to take the last round. They got a lot of young guys. Denver Nuggets. Jokic, Michael Porter Jr. Jokic in 60 minutes he had 21 points. But Mike Malone was like, "Hey man, let's dodge the Lakers. Let's lose so the Blazers can make it." Michael Porter Jr. also played 15 minutes, so not much to talk about. But I think Michael Porter Jr., as I said many times, I would take him third, fourth round if I'm punting assist, for sure. He's gonna be good next season. Young guy, have such high upside in fantasy. Jokic 21 points. Yeah, Jokic should go number 1 next season in all category leagues. I think for the Portland Trail Blazers, they're trying hard this game. And another great game for Jusuf Nurkic. This is why we love Nurkic. Man, his stat looks so pretty. It's crazy. In just 20 minutes. 13 rebound, 1 3, 2 steal, 2 assists, a steal, and 2 blocks, 20 points. What is his rank? 48th ranked player. He has some efficiency issues with the free throw. But in 48, in 26 minutes, he's 48th ranked player. Is he going to play 33 minutes a night? That's top 30, I think, pretty comfortably. But again, I think a lot of guys drafted him way too early, maybe because Josh Lloyd did. I would take him 3rd round, 4th round next season. I wouldn't take him 2nd round. I think late 3rd is probably, like, he might disappoint us again next season. But the guy has good upside. Could be a top 20 guy. I think he for sure has top 20 upside. CJ McCollum played okay, hit 5 threes. And Damian Lillard, 22 points and 10. They're ready for the playoffs. They made it. They made it to the play-ins. They avoided the play-ins. Let's talk about the last game of the night. The Jazz, they are the number 1 seed in the Western Conference. So that's good stuff. Donovan Mitchell is still out. Bogdanovic played 30 minutes, 18 points, 4 assists, and 6 rebounds, 2 threes. That's pretty good. Rudy Gobert, 13 points, 16 rebounds, 2 blocks. Another monster game. Joe Ingles, don't draft Joe Ingles next season. With Donovan Mitchell healthy, he's out. He's a must-roster guy, right? 7 assists, a steal, 2 threes, 10 points. Mike Conley is a guy. Whenever he plays, he's healthy. He's been, he could be a top 50 guy per game basis. But again, I wouldn't draft him there. I'd probably take him 6 or 7 because he gets hurt way too often. He's a year older, right? Maybe 7th or 8th, to be honest. Like, I would take Darius Garland before Mike Conley. This is the perfect example. Like, maybe Mike Conley is better, but he's a year older and he's going to miss games. Although, Darius Garland also missed a ton of games this season. I don't know what's going on. He's a young guy. He missed so many games this season. And then let's look at the Kings. Delon Wright, we know if he given the minutes, he's a monster in fantasy. He didn't really get it going today, but a steal and two blocks. That's good. Tyrese Davis also played really well. That's it for all the games. I think I'm going to make a couple more videos before the season ends. But I will see you guys later.